Hello, good evening. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Now, I have a great topic for you. I am going to tell you your options in the case that your spouse, your U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, is refusing to apply for your permanent residence. Now, in the case that they're refusing to apply and they're mistreating you at the same time, you do have the option to pursue your own permanent residence based on the mistreatment. It doesn't have to be where you're mistreated physically or where you're attacked or you have a police report. You can apply for this even if you have been mistreated in verbally, emotionally, financially. So, for instance, if while you're here, you may be even here without status, and when you get your paychecks, they're taking all your money away. That's financially abusive. If they are calling you names, if they constantly use your immigration status against you, for example, they dangle the fact that they can cancel your green card application, or they can decide not to apply for you. That is abusive. That can amount to extreme cruelty. And so if you're in a situation like this, you have the option to apply for your own status and then your own permanent residence. So it is a very important form of relief. And the great thing about this form of relief is that you can also apply for your work permit and have your work permit while you are waiting for your process to be completed. The entire process takes 2 to 2.5 years. However, the great thing about this is that while you're waiting, you're able to get relief through your work permit and your travel document. Now, let me stop to remind you that I am U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I assist clients to get status in the United States. I also come on every day, Monday through Friday, to take your questions, and I also bring great immigration topics for you that I think will matter to you. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. It does not have to be related to the particular topic that I'm talking about. But today I'm talking about that situation where your spouse is refusing to apply for your green card. My next question to you here is why? Why are they doing that? I don't know of a caring spouse who would refuse to apply for their immigrant spouse's permanent resident. I mean, it is a way for you to be a family, to guarantee that you'll be together in the United States. So that is indicating to me that there is a larger problem in that marriage, and you probably, if you're going through the mistreatment, it will let you be able to connect the dots here. The mistreatment and then also refusing to apply for you, that could also be a form of mistreatment in the fact that they are trying to control even your immigration status. They're trying to sabotage you. They're trying to keep you undocumented. They're trying to keep you in a situation where you don't have the power, or you feel like you don't have the power. You do have the power though, because you can apply on your own without this spouse, whether you're with them or whether you're separated from them, even if you are already divorced. So if you've been divorced for less than 2 years, this is an option. If that ex-spouse abused you and the divorce is and you divorced because of the mistreatment. So if this is the case, you should seriously be thinking about this benefit. Now, a part of this form of relief, the great part about it too, is that you don't have to be in fear of involving that abusive spouse, whether you're with them or not, because they are not notified and they are not included in your process. So that means their immigration, nobody's going to call them to ask them to sign anything, to ask for their consent. not even to verify information. But what that means is that you do have to provide a very strong application, because what the immigration officer is going to do is they are going to look at only the information that you've provided to them, and they're going to determine first, is it credible? Is it believable? And if it's believable, they'll accept it as strong evidence of the mistreatment or extreme cruelty that you went through, and then go ahead and approve your application. All being well, you do meet other requirements. Now, other requirements, of course, is that you must have lived with your spouse at some point in the past, and that your marriage, you still have to prove that your marriage was bona fide. So, there are other factors, and this is what I help my clients to put together. Once my representation starts, I help my clients to put this application together to be able to present it to an immigration officer. Okay, so how long does it take to get your citizenship? It's gonna vary, Shelly. It's gonna depend on what state are you in. It is the USCIS office that does it, and so if they're backed up, you might find that it's gonna take longer. If they're not, then you may get through faster. For instance, my cases have been moving along nicely, so I've had a processing time which varies between 2 months and 6 months. And I've had this result in different states as well. So it's really going to come down to what your situation is, what's your case looking like, do they need more information, how backed up are they, which service center is processing your application. So asylum pending, I apply for work permit, how long I get. So once you obtain the work permit, it's a 2-year work permit right now. So that's a great thing also with VAWA, is that when they issue the work permit, it's now a 2-year work permit. And that just reduces the stress and also the administrative burdens on the immigration when they constantly have to keep dishing out work permits, because it keeps going over. It keeps expiring every single year. So they have issued 2-year work permits for different categories now. Unless your status is about to expire, then it's going to be less than 2 years. But 2 years is the average time that they're issuing those for. So keep putting those questions in the comments. So how long I receive home. So I'm not sure what that means, Montu. Can you go ahead and rephrase that sentence? I'm not understanding it. All right, let me go through and see if I have any more questions. So keep putting those questions in the comments. As long as it's immigration related, I can go ahead and answer. I am both on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. So those on YouTube, feel comfortable to put your questions in the comments. I will answer. I'm pretty much finished with the topic that I came to talk about. And the bottom line is, if you are in a situation where you're being mistreated by a spouse, they're refusing to apply for you, or even your ex-spouse, as long as it's under 2 years from the date of the divorce, you have options. You have options to pursue your own status, permanent residence, work permit in the United States. And this is the case even if you are cross a border without permission, even if you are currently out of status, even if you overstayed your visa. This is an option. And that's a great part about this as well, is that it does allow individuals who came into the country in different ways, who are out of status, to still apply for this. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I'm checking both on YouTube and on TikTok to see if I get any more questions. So put those questions in the comments. So when I finish over here, I'm going to be heading on over to Instagram and Facebook. So I'll be over there. You can Join me over there if you continue to have questions, but I'm going to continue to answer questions here. So how long do I receive home? Okay, so I still don't understand. How do you apply for the work permit? So Island Vibes, you're gonna have to qualify. If you're outside of the United States, the work permit is not gonna be for you. It's probably gonna be an employment-based visa, and that's gonna come down to who's the employer. Do you have an employer? What are your qualifications to apply for that? Now, Jojo Pink, how to migrate to the US? So many different ways. So many different ways. Jojo, it's going to come down to how do you qualify? Do you qualify through an employer? Do you qualify through family? Do you even qualify through the lottery for the green card? Hi there. So I filed my VAWA in November and still haven't received my prima facie. Should I be worried? So November is, you could receive your prima facie anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. If you are concerned, you can definitely write into the VAWA unit and put in a case inquiry. Unfortunately or fortunately, with VAWA applications, they will not speak to you about your application over the phone. We as attorneys, that's another benefit of having an attorney go through the VAWA with you, because I have access to the VAWA unit via email. And so when I am concerned about my client's case, or I need a status update, or something is taking very long, what I do is I just email the VAWA unit directly. However, if you're unrepresented by an attorney, you have to do it in writing. They will not speak with you, and that's for your protection. Because remember, I mentioned before that VAWA is very confidential, and they don't want to be in a situation where they accidentally disclose information to someone who's calling about you. So it is there for your protection. But you, Shauna, if there's something you're concerned about, you need to make sure you get in touch with them and ask those questions. My husband flies for my sons back home in Jamaica. Everything got accepted, waiting on interviews. Since last August, haven't heard anything back. Shelly, you're not the only one. Unfortunately, it's backed up, especially in Jamaica. Right now, we're seeing people waiting over a year right now for interviews. So hang tight, just check on your case, go to the NVC, contact them, make sure there's nothing that they need on your end that you don't know about. Great questions so far. Keep putting those questions in the comments. Okay, so I have a boyfriend and family living in the US. Okay, so Jojo, that is good information to start on, but always get personalized legal advice. I'm here to assist with that. Go to the link in the profile if you'd like to schedule your appointment. But if you have your boyfriend and your boyfriend is a US citizen, and you do take it a step further, you're ready to commit and you become engaged, then there's always a fiance visa. Now, if your boyfriend travels to your country, or you have your visa and you're able to get married, then at that point, you could apply for the spouse immigrant visa. So there are options if your boyfriend and you take your relationship further and you become engaged or married. As far as family, if you have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, parent, or citizen sibling, then it may be possible to apply for your permanent residence here. But processing times is going to depend on your age, status, marital status. So that's where it's very, very, very important to get personalized legal advice, because remember, the information I'm giving you here is not personal legal advice, it's general information. So if you are really serious about pursuing your status here, you are better off scheduling a personal consultation with me. Is it 2 years to complete the process, or just wait for the interview? So Queen Bee, keep in mind that I give estimates based on my experience, and that does not mean it's a solid 2 years, right? So don't take the timelines that I'm giving you as gospel. It is estimated just because the immigration processing times, they change, they vary depending on the case type. And so the average times could be 18 to 24 months. It could be less, could be more. But is it taking over 2 years to get an interview date? Not necessarily. 2 years is on the long end of the spectrum. That's usually with cases that are delayed or something has happened in the case that has caused it to go that far. How long does it take to get the EAD and app with the VAWA? So, and that's the AP is the advanced parole, that's a travel document, EAD is the work permit, and it's taking anywhere from 9 months to 12 months to get it. So that's the processing time right now. Thanks, Queen Bee, for the love. I appreciate it. So now I'm going to head on over to Instagram. So go ahead and join me there. I'm the immigration attorney on Instagram, same as here. So if you want to continue this conversation, you didn't get to ask your questions, or you have more questions, go ahead and join me on Instagram, the immigration attorney. I see a few more, so I'm gonna go ahead and, how long does it take to get? Yeah, because it's almost 2 years since my boy's case. So Shelly Brown, so you're definitely on the longer spectrum of the wait list. 2 years to get an interview, 2 years from the beginning to the end is about right. But 2 years after your case is complete at the National Visa Center to get the interview, that's on the longer side of the spectrum. And you should make sure that you check on your case. All right, so thanks again for all your great questions. I'm going to be back on Monday. So remember, I'm on here Mondays through Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So start thinking about your questions. If you really are serious about pursuing your particular options, schedule that consultation. It is worth your time and your money. This is your future in the United States. You want to get it right. You want to do everything correctly. And the best start to that is to get the advice you need, because the information here is just general information. So I hope to see you in a minute on Instagram or Facebook. I'm ST Law Office, the name of the law firm. On Facebook, on Instagram, I'm the immigration attorney. Also, if you want to continue to watch the content, you can do that on Instagram. I post videos regularly there. I do lives on TikTok only, but I post videos on Instagram on a regular basis throughout the day. Those are tips, updates, great little pieces of information that can give you hints about what you may be able to qualify for. So I hope to see you on Instagram soon or speak with you in a personal consultation. All right, thanks.